The late Cretaceous sun bathes a lush green paradise. A mighty herd of Argentinosaurus grazes peacefully among giant ferns. Their young playfully weave between the colossal living pillars. The herd still feeds, but the signs are now undeniable. The ferns are wilting, and the ground is cracked under their weight. A fine, persistent dust begins to coat the world they know. A close view reveals a massive jaw stripping a barren branch. The landscape behind it is skeletal, every tree picked clean. The earth is a trampled, lifeless dust bowl. The old leader, his hide marked by decades of survival, surveys his dying domain. His gaze then lifts, fixing with grim resolve on the distant, unknown mountains beyond the horizon. He unleashes a deep, resonant bellow that rolls across the plain. The herd answers with a unified roar, and the very earth trembles as hundreds of tons of desperate life begin to march. Days into the journey, the soft earth hardens. Sparse, thorny shrubs replace the grasses, and the first lonely, twisted trees appear on the harsh new horizon. They enter a drier woodland with patches of shade. The air feels different, carrying a faint promise of moisture that makes them sniff the hard ground with renewed, cautious hope. They find a giant, cracked mud hole, a ghost of a river. As they crowd its edges, searching for water, the forest sounds suddenly cease, plunging the world into an eerie, watchful silence. Every massive head lifts in unison. Eyes, deep with ancient instinct, scan the dense foliage. The old leader stares into the shadows, his nostrils flaring at a scent they cannot yet see. Through the leaves, pairs of gleaming, patient eyes reflect the light. Large, toothy shadows, Maposauruses, glide silently between the trees, completing a deadly circle around the herd. Two hunters explode from the brush with terrifying speed. The herd reacts as one, forming a living fortress with the young at its center. Their colossal whip-like tails slice through the air, creating a deafening, dusty barrier of sheer force. One predator lunges, sinking its teeth deep into a giant's thigh. Dark blood sprays onto the dust. A roar of pain and fury shakes the very leaves from the trees. Bleeding and harried, the herd is driven deeper into the humid, dark forest by their leader. The echoing shrieks of the Maposaurus follow them, promising the hunt is not over. The forest abruptly opens into a vast, treacherous mire of mud and reeds. Their heavy feet sink deep, and water seeps up around them. They have stumbled into a primal swamp. The wounded individual, weakened and off balance, slips with a great splash. It struggles in the thick, sucking mud, its every movement only dragging it deeper into the muck. From the stagnant water, a buzzing black cloud rises. Giant prehistoric insects swarm the herd, descending on eyes, nostrils, and open wounds with relentless, stinging agony. in the mud, assailed from the air, and watched from the tree line, the herd's bellows turned from defiance to sounds of pure exhaustion and despair. From the murky water, a nightmare emerges. The colossal crocodilian Sarcosuchus explodes upward, its immense jaws clamping onto the trapped titan, dragging it under in a violent whirlpool. In the chaotic aftermath, a vast, swift shadow silently glides over the swamp, not once, but twice. The Quetzalcoatlus is scouting, a new and silent terror in the sky, choosing its moment. The shadow dives. With a flash of a spear-like beak, the pterosaur strikes a glancing blow on another sauropod's back before soaring away, leaving shock and fresh pain in its wake. Driven by primal terror, the herd fights its way out of the swamp. They stampede towards a rocky, barren plateau in the distance, the relentless hunters still at their heels. Days later, on the sun-baked plateau, the herd stands emaciated and scarred. Nothing green grows here. Hunger is a constant, sharp pain, and it begins to fray the bonds of the herd. A powerful young male, his body still strong, steps before the weary old leader. A challenging, guttural rumble escapes his throat. The choice is clear: lead us to food or step aside. The two colossal males collide. The impact of their necks and bodies is like the sound of crashing boulders. This is not a duel for mating, but a brutal, desperate fight for the right to survive. The young male lands a devastating blow. The old patriarch stumbles, his leg buckling, and crashes to the stone with a ground-shaking thud. As descent simmers, nature itself revolts. Black, churning clouds swallow the sky. A cold, fierce wind whips across the plateau, and lightning stitches the dark horizon. A searing bolt strikes a dead tree at the edge of the plateau. It ignites instantly into a tower of flame. The howling wind greedily grabs the fire, spreading it toward the herd's only path of descent. The herd is trapped. Behind them lies a sheer cliff drop. Before them, a rapidly advancing wall of fire and choking smoke cuts off escape. The blistering heat waves distort the air. The new leader bellows and charges towards a narrowing gap in the flames. With eyes shut tight against the searing heat, the herd follows blindly through a corridor of living fire. They emerge on the other side, bodies scorched and smoking, lungs ravaged by smoke. Their skin is blistered and blackened, and waiting in the settling ash are the Maposaurus, poised for the kill. The predators attack the weakened giants in a final frenzied assault. The sauropods fight back with broken tails and dwindling strength, their world reduced to dust, blood, and snapping teeth. From the ground, the old leader stirs. With a last mighty effort, he rises and charges directly into the predator pack, drawing their fury onto himself with a defiant final roar. In the chaos of his sacrifice, the remnants of the herd, the mothers and young, stumble over the cliff's edge into a hidden green valley below, a secret paradise amid the devastation. The survivors stand motionless in a clear, shallow river, drinking slowly. Their bodies are maps of ash, burns, and old wounds. One of the females slowly moves away from the herd, her every step heavy with exhaustion. She finds refuge under the protective shadow of a massive, overhanging rock, standing still, bearing the heaviest weight of all: hope. There, in a hollow, cradled by soft earth beneath that same rock, lies a single perfect egg. Dappled sunlight filters through the canopy, making its shell gleam. This egg is the last untouched promise of life amid a world of ruin.